Welcome everyone to Joe Riley Park here in Charleston, South Carolina for game 2 of 2 between the Marshall Thundering Herd and the Citadel Bulldogs. The Citadel hung on and took game 1 Friday evening after taking a 4-0 lead. Marshall scored the final 3 runs of the game, got the tying run to third and the go-ahead run to second in the ninth, but the Bulldogs were able to hang on. Michael Gibson got the save for the Citadel after Will Holmes threw the first 5 2/3 innings and got the win in that one. Hi, everybody, and welcome with former Bulldog Travis Lott. I'm RJ Taylor. Great to have you with us. So, Travis, good one here for the Citadel to start off the series after losing the first series 2 out of 3 against Liberty last weekend. How can they keep that momentum going here today?
Yeah, it's nice to be able to come out, get a big Friday night win. You know, both teams offensively struggled to get the big hit. Both teams left 10 runners on base. You know, offensively, how can you be better in those opportunities? You know, it's kind of a rare occasion on Friday night for both teams to have so many opportunities, but you know, credit to both pitching staffs for being able to limit damage and keep it a relatively low-scoring game. You know, like you mentioned, Marshall able to load the bases last night. You find a way to get out of it, get out with a game 1 win, and any time you can win Friday night, you have to feel good about your chances of being able to capitalize and win a series.
Bryce Coulter on the mound here for the Citadel. Evan Batone steps into the box for Marshall. The right-hander winds and fires. First pitch is outside a fastball. We're underway.
Yeah, it'll be something to watch early for Bryce. He really settled in nicely a week ago. You know, was able to get through 5 innings with just 1 run, but the fastball command early was a little bit of an issue. He had to go to the off-speed stuff early. You know, 4 free passes, 3 walks, and a hit by pitch, but just 2 hits allowed. So, you know, look for him to kind of establish his fastball a little earlier today.
2 balls and a strike, the count to Evan Batone. Coulter, 5 innings, 2 hits, an earned run, 3 walks, and 2 strikeouts a week ago against Liberty. That misses downstairs. 3-1 the count. Gary Smetana is the home plate umpire. Ned Timmerman at first, and Ashley Smith is at third. He called the balls and strikes yesterday. 3-1 misses low with a fastball. So Batone works a walk on 5 pitches and immediately a leadoff base runner here for Marshall.
Yeah, again, Bryce showed last week he can pitch around some traffic, but again, not the ideal start. Batone a good runner over at first. Try to put some pressure on. He had a nice day yesterday, 3 for 5. Reaches base early here.
Brings up the first baseman, A.J. Havrilla. Swing and a miss. First pitch fastball. They hold Batone on at first. Marshall in the road grays with green pinstripes, the Citadel powder blue tops, and white pants. Throw over to first. Batone dives back in. Overcast day. This game was pushed up 6 hours. It was originally supposed to be a 5 o'clock first pitch, but some bad weather coming to Charleston in the evening hours, and they made the executive decision to push the game start up. Low and away on the pitch to Havrilla, so the count 1-1 on the Marshall first baseman. 3 for his first 15 on the season. Another throw over to first. Batone dives back in safely. Havrilla hitless last night. He reached once on a walk, so looking to have a better day today. And there for a strike on the outside corner on a fastball, 1-2.
Yeah, a little nice sequence to start for Coulter there. Got a big swing and miss on the fastball, center cut on the first pitch. Missed off the plate with a breaking ball, then comes back, fastball away. A nice sequence and freezes Havrilla for strike 2.
Another pickoff attempt. Batone dove back in safely. So a lot of those yesterday with Bryce Blevins, the Marshall starter. As Coulter comes set, here's the pitch. And the 1-2 misses outside on a breaking ball.
He just missed away. Again, just trying to live a way to have Rilla. Guy took a big swing, first at bat, or first pitch, so trying to get the bat head out, get something to his pull side, trying to stay away from him.
Here's the 2-2. High fly ball to left field. TJ Anderson moving back onto the track and makes the catch, going up against the wall for the first out. Give you the Citadel defense here. TJ Anderson in left field making the start here today. Didn't play yesterday. Matthew Lively in center. Jaden Williams in right. In the infield from left to right, Phillips Daniels is at third. Lane Tobin at short. Ariane Patel at second. Zach Hunt at first with Garrett Fulmer catching the right-hander Bryce Coulter.
Coulter got away with one there. Again, we just mentioned trying to go away, left that one middle in, have really got to it. Just gets away with it. 341 distance, but 344, and it was a home run.
Breaking ball inside. 1 ball and no strikes to the left-hand hitter Jackson Halter. Batone still at first here with 1 out. Swing and a chopper to first up the line, fielded by Hunt. Couple paces from the bag, and he steps on first for the second out. Batone advances to second on the play. So a 3 unassisted for out number 2. And that brings up the Marshall second baseman, Tyler Kammerer. Kammerer 6 for his first 15 on the season. He's off to a good start. First pitch breaking ball outside. 1 for 4 last night, though, with a walk. Batone gets the 2-out lead off second, not being held. And the 1-0's taken for strike 1.
You're right on right change up there from Bryce. Again, we talked about his ability to pitch around base runners, lead off walk, and he's really an out away from getting out of it unscathed.
Here's the 1-1. Taken for a strike on a fastball, outer half. So the count 1-2 on Kammerer. Batone still at second. Patel playing behind second base, now drifting over to his left, right along the cut of the outfield grass as the 1-2 misses low and away on a breaking ball. Wind blowing right to left here today. Last night it was blowing in from right center. Halter fires. Swing and a miss. Off speed, and a strikeout ends the inning. Kammerer is retired. No runs, no hits, no errors, and 1 left. And the Citadel will come to bat for the first time. Bottom of the first inning here at Joe Riley Park. Good to have you with us here. Travis Lott, RJ Taylor. Drew Harlow on the mound for Marshall. Harlow, a right-hander, coming off of a start last weekend he may not have had in mind.
Yeah, not ideal opening weekend start. Didn't get out of the third inning. 2 1/3, 5 runs, 6 hits, 2 walks. So command wasn't necessarily the issue. Just got hit around a little bit. Low 90s fastball.
A called strike to Jaden Williams on the inner half to begin the bottom of the first.
He's got good command again. You know, he's going to add in a slider, change, and cutter to go with that fastball.
Tapper foul toward the Marshall dugout on the third base side. So 0-2 to Williams. Harlow, 6'1", 200 pounds. Graduate from Halifax, Virginia. Then his second stint with Marshall. That's sort of an interesting story of how he wound up coming back as the 0-2 misses outside. Now 1 ball and 2 strikes. Jaden Williams, TJ Anderson, Phillips Daniels due up here in the bottom of the first. Swinging at a little tapper between the mound and the third base line. Barehand pickup there by Harlow. Throw to first is dropped. So Williams is aboard. And a base runner for the Bulldogs rather quickly. Didn't look like a bad throw, just Havrilla didn't handle it at first base.
Yeah, I think the throw was a little bit up that first base line, and I think the glove of Havrilla maybe hit Williams as he ran through the bag. Wasn't able to secure it for the second straight night. Williams, a leadoff single to start, infield single to start for the Bulldogs.
TJ Anderson now at the plate. And he looks at a first pitch fastball outside. Righty-lefty matchup here. Anderson started the first 2 games last weekend, did not start last Sunday against Liberty, but did appear later on, and did not appear at all yesterday. Pickoff attempt over at first with Williams, who dives back in safely. Anderson 1 for 8 so far. Another pickoff attempt with Williams diving back in safely. The Citadel scored 1 run in each of the first 3 innings last night. Something Russell Triplett, I'm sure, would like to see happen again here today. Get the scoring started and give yourself some positive momentum. Swing line drive, left field base hit. So now the Bulldogs have him at first and second with none out.
Nice piece of hitting there from TJ. Got a fastball, outer third of the plate, kept his hands inside of it. And the TJ Anderson special lines it right in the left field. First and second, nobody out for the Citadel. I think you have to imagine that Phillips is going to lay one down right here.
Now they did call that Jaden Williams play a moment ago, an infield single. So 2 singles to begin the bottom of the first. Daniels squares to bunt, takes it back, and it's a called strike.
Did this last night. Phillips was able to get the bunt down and resulted in a run.
He squares again and drops it down between the mound and the third base line. Harlow fires to first, a little off target, but the tag applied by Havrilla. Daniels does his job, moves everybody over 90 feet. Williams at third, Anderson at second here, 1 out, home first.
It's a really nice job taking what the defense gave him. Laid it down the third base line, and you're set up in business here with your cleanup guy. Zach Hunt coming up 2 for 4 last night. Good opportunity for him to drive in a run and put the Bulldogs on top.
Harlow comes set, slide, step, and pitch. Is swung on, hit on the ground to the right side. This will bring it a run. Kammerer, the second baseman, fires to first for the out. But an RBI ground out for Zach Hunt. It's a 1-0 game. Here now, 2 outs in the bottom of the first. And for Hunt, that's RBI number 3 of the season. Williams in from third. Anderson advanced to third.
Got to change up. Probably down below the zone, but again, just trying to shorten up and find any way to get the run in. You want to do it earlier in the at-bat. Try not to get the 2 strikes. Again, just a nice job staying inside of it.
Christian Stratus looks at a first pitch breaking ball for a strike on the inner half. Stratus, the DH today, he started in left field last night. Here's the 0-1. Off the inside corner. Stratus in last night's game was 1 for 4 with an RBI. Harlow from the wide, and that goes through the wickets of the catcher Oliver Service, and a run will score. Off-speed pitch that was low. Service went down to block it, but it trickled to the backstop, and now it's 2-0 as Anderson came in from third.
Yeah, another change up there from Harlow. Really not a bad pitch at all. This is probably one that Service probably could have just caught. I think got caught a little bit in between the block catch and never got his glove all the way down.
Slider in there for a called strike. So now nobody on the base paths. Both base runners came in to score for the Citadel. Marshall defensively aligned straight up. Harlow from the wind. Here's the 2-2. That one blocked. Slider in the dirt. So the count now full on Christian Stratus. Garrett Fulmer is on deck. He'll come up if Stratus can continue the inning.
Harlow struggled to command any of his off-speed other than the changeup so far early. He's tried to live to his arm side of the plate. Didn't matter right or left. He's kind of been into the right-handed hitters. He was away to TJ, left-handed hitter. And just that slider was not really close to getting a swing from Stratus.
And now time called by Harlow. Wants to get the sign again. He gets it from Service and now winds and fires a payoff, and it's swung on and hit foul out of play to the right. It's a high fastball that Stratus got a piece of to keep alive. Another 3-2. Harlow fires outside for ball 4.
Again, it looked like he tried to go to the cutter there. Never threatened the strike zone. Started off the plate. Obviously stayed off the plate in that left-handed batter's box. An easy take there for Stratus, and the Citadel just extends the inning. At least one more hitter. You know, whether Stratus ends up coming around the score, it's just more pitches they're seeing from Harlow here in the first inning.
First walk surrendered by Harlow. So Stratus at first. Garrett Fulmer digs in, righty-righty, swing and a miss. Fulmer let his left hand go off the bat, sort of an awkward last half of the swing. But 0-1 to the Bulldogs catcher. Harlow comes set, peeks over at first, slide step and pitch. Breaking ball, half swing, appeal to the first base umpire, no go. Count 1-1.
Yeah, if I'm the Citadel, I eliminate the slider and cutter at this point as a hitter. He hasn't shown that he can throw it for a strike really at all. I'm just sitting on fastball changeup.
The 1-1. Trickled foul toward the backstop. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Here, 2 outs, bottom of the first inning. If you're just tuning in, the Citadel scored twice in the home first. Jaden Williams and TJ Anderson both singled. Daniels sacrificed them over. Hunt with an RBI ground out. Then Anderson scored on a wild pitch. Long pause, slide step, and the 1-2 slider that Fulmer got a piece of, and I think it got a piece of the home plate umpire, Gary Smetana, as well. Off one of his shin guards. Count remains 1-2.
And Fulmer helping him out a little bit, fouled off the slider, but again, one that ultimately really wasn't close to threatening the zone, certainly down below.
Stratus acted like he was running. The 1-2 low and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
I mean, it's very clear that Harlow's comfortable throwing the changeup more so than the slider and cutter right now.
Yeah, pretty changeup heavy so far here in the bottom of the first. Slide step, and that's hit up the middle over the mound, and it trickles into center field. So Garrett Fulmer has a 2-out single, and that continues the bottom of the first inning here for the Citadel.
Nice at bat, got a fastball, outer third. But again, when you can eliminate the off-speed pitch moving away from you as a right-handed hitter, you're only worried about the fastball changeup, so he's able to get the bat head out to it, 102 off the bat, right up the middle. Just more action on the bases.
First hit for the Bulldogs, or excuse me, for Fulmer. Third hit for the Bulldogs. Low and away to Lane Tobin for ball 1 on an off-speed. So Stratus is at second, Fulmer at first. Neither one really being held on here with 2 outs. Trickled up the third base line, charging play by Cleary Simpson. He fields and fires just in time, and that ends the bottom of the first inning. Nice play by the Marshall third baseman, making an off-balance throw, and that sends us to the second. The Bulldogs scored twice on 3 hits, no errors, and 2 left. Top of the second inning here at Joe Riley Park in Charleston. The Citadel in front 2-0, behind 3 hits so far for Marshall. No runs, no hits. 5, 6, and 7 due up for the Herd in the second inning. Cooper Hinson, their left fielder, will start it off. Bryce Coulter winds and fires. First pitch swinging, fly ball center field. Lively on the run and makes the catch, moving back toward the warning track. 1 away here in the top of the second.
As a coach, you can't ask for anything more than that. Your offense puts up 2 runs. You get the lead 2-0, and you get a 1 pitch out to start the next half inning.
17 pitch first inning for Coulter. From the wind, and fires a first pitch slider for a strike on the inner half to Ethan Murdoch, the Marshall DH. Swing and a miss on an off-speed, 0-2. Murdoch hit one of the more impressive home runs in the 8th inning last night that I've seen in recent memory. Coulter working quickly, 0-2 off-speed is low. Took one to the opposite field in the 8th inning last night. It was an absolute screamer over the right field wall. Diving stop by Phillips Daniels behind third. Fires to first on one hop. Bobbled by Hunt. He recovered, but it's not in time. Murdoch is safe. So a man at first here for Marshall with one out.
Nice play over there at third from Phillips to even get a glove on it, but he gloved it cleanly. Go to first was low. Hunt not able to dig it cleanly. Bobbled it, caught it with his bare hand. To be honest, I thought it was still in time. That's a couple calls in a row that didn't go the Citadel's way over at first, because I thought Lane beat out the throw to end the bottom of the first.
Russell Triplett walked out briefly, turned around and went back to the dugout.
I think that's just a situation where neither of the other umpires are going to be able to overturn it. No replay. Not much you can do about it there.
Bunt attempt for Mason Onati, the 7th place hitter for Marshall, is fouled near the plate, so 0-1. On the Marshall shortstop. But going back to that home run, it had a 15-degree launch angle, which is not something you see very often. 104 off the bat. Diving back into first is Murdoch on a pickoff attempt. Onati 5 for 15 so far this season. And the 0-1 misses downstairs off speed. 1-1.
Coulter's had good feel for the changeup, got a left-handed hitter in. Be a good opportunity to throw it and try to get a double play.
Inside goes to the backstop. Down to second goes Murdoch on a wild pitch.
And now you throw that one. Throw the double play out the door. Again, Marshall's got an opportunity. Runner in scoring position here with one out. Couldn't convert in the first inning. Struggled to last night.
Coulter set above the belt, kicks and fires. Outside 3-1. Patel playing in the outfield grass. Mini shift on here. And the 3-1 is inside for ball 4, so a 5-pitch walk. So now Marshall has 2 on with 1 out here in the top of the second inning. Second walk surrendered by Coulter. Now up comes the right-handed hitting catcher Oliver Service with 2 on and 1 out. Patel on the cut of the outfield grass, almost directly behind second base, still to the right of it a little bit. Breaking ball in there for a strikeout or half. Tobin shaded a little bit toward the 5-6 hole. Service came in as a pinch hitter in last night's game and struck out. This is his only plate appearance of the night. 0-1 is another breaking ball that's in there. Inner half of the plate this time, 0-2.
Yeah, Coulter's got him 0-2. Got to make sure he doesn't leave this 0-2 pitch in a hittable location. I think that's what happened to Murdoch. Had him 2 strikes.
Strike 3 called. Another breaking ball caught the inside corner. So 3 breaking balls. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night to Service.
Yeah, slider. Then he goes to the big curveball that he doesn't throw, a whole lot. Probably his least used pitch, but it's big one, and he uses it just to freeze hitters. Throws one, flips one right in there, outer third.
2 strikeouts now for Coulter. First pitch to the left-hand hitting Cleary Simpson is outside for ball 1. Simpson hitting 9th. So back to the top of the order for Marshall after this. A knee-high strike on a fastball evens the count 1-1. Ethan Murdoch, the runner at second, Mason Onati at first. 2 outs and a 2-0 game in the top of the second inning. And that's hit foul off to the left. The Citadel to this point is out hit Marshall 3-1.
Simpson laid on a fastball there, fouling it down the left side. Couldn't pull the trigger on the fastball. Center cut for strike 1. See if he goes back to the heater.
Breaking ball outside.
He tried to go with the big curveball that he just struck service out on. This time missed away. You don't want to. You got to try to get Simpson here. You don't want to flip the lineup over to Batone, who's had a good weekend so far.
The 2-2. Line drive in a left center field. That'll fall at a base hit. Played on a hop by Anderson. Murdoch gets the wave home. Throw goes into second. Marshall's on the board on an RBI hit by Cleary Simpson, their third baseman.
Good piece of hitting. Not a terrible pitch from Coulter. Fastball down and away, but again, he'd gotten the count to 2-2. You didn't want to run the count full with 2 outs to let the base runners get going. So he had to attack the zone. Simpson knew it, was able to get to a fastball. I think if that fastball is up in the zone, he's probably able to get it by him, but with it down.
Back to the top of the order. Evan Batone looks at ball 1, pitch missed outside. They call that a strike, actually. I missed Gary Smetana's right hand go up. There's another called strike, and it's 0-2. That, by the way, for Simpson, his first RBI of the year.
Yeah, you know, 0-2 cannot miss over the plate.
Line drive up the middle, base hit. Past a diving Tobin. They'll wave home Onati. Throw to the plate, not in time. And Marshall has come back here in the top of the second to tie the game up at 2. Back-to-back RBI singles from Cleary Simpson and Evan Batone.
It's not a well-executed 0-2 pitch. Change up. Middle, middle away.
Yeah, just like you said, left it out over the plate. Didn't want to do that.
He's gotten the 2 strikes. The last handful of hitters just hasn't been able to put him away. Hasn't been able to execute 2-strike pitches. For the Marshall offense, that's a big confidence booster. You struggled last night to really get big 2-out hits. 2-out hits are killer, for a pitcher, and to be able to come through with back-to-back 2-out RBI hits. You really wanted to get Simpson there because, again, Batone's been swinging a good bat. 4 for 6 now in the series. He walked in his first at bat. Some guys are just see it well at different ballparks, and he's certainly hot right now.
James Reeves, the Citadel pitching coach, just completed a mound visit. So now A.J. Havrilla with runners at first and second and 2 outs. Righty-righty matchup here. 2-2 game, each team now with 3 hits. Slider low and away. Full blocked it, so 1 ball and no strikes to count. To the Marshall first baseman who flied to left his first time up.
Yeah, really, he got a good swing off of him. Saw Coulter well in that first at bat. Just missed a 2-run shot.
That misses outside on a fastball. The count 2-0. Simpson at second, Batone at first here. Long pause just above the belt from the right-hander Coulter. He kicks and fires a 2-0. Slider downstairs, 3-0. Coulter working fairly quickly. Comes in with a 3-0, and it's a strike called on a fastball inner half.
A real taken all the way right there.
Coulter comes set, now kicks and delivers. Swing and a chopper foul past third.
Coulter able to get back in the count, 3-2. Runners will be off here. Batone obviously a really good runner at first, so anything that gets into the gap or the corners is likely going to score 2 pretty easily with him off on the pitch.
Coulter comes set, runners take off. The 3-2 is popped in the air, foul behind the plate.
But I will say he did not run on the pitch, and I think there's a conversation being had with his first base coach, because 3-2, 2 outs is automatic. He's not even being held on, and he just took a standard secondary.
Yeah, first base coach for Marshall saying you got to know the situation. Now they both take off, and that hit Havrilla. So now it's bases loaded with 2 outs.
Coulter tried to freeze him with the big breaking ball. Just backed up on him, missed in with it.
Bases are now loaded. First pitch swung on and missed by Jackson Halter.
This is a better matchup here for Bryce. Got him to hit a weak ground ball on the changeup his first at bat. Starts him off with a changeup. Really nice pitch, down and away.
The 0-1. Skips in, good block by Fulmer. So it evens up 1 ball and 1 strike. Halter grounded out to first. The 1-1. And there's a strike at the knees. So the count now 1 ball and 2 strikes. Coulter getting close to 30 pitches this inning. He threw 17 in the first. This will be number 46 of the, number 46 of the afternoon for the right-hander. As the 1-2 comes in, it's outside. I was on the right track there and then second-guessed myself, but we'll do a 2-2 here with Simpson at third, Batone at second, and Havrilla at first. And it's a breaking ball backdoor. Did not get the call from the home plate umpire, Gary Smetana, just a touch outside.
Yeah, tried to go with the slider, never got to the plate. Again, full count, 2 outs, runners will be off.
The 3-2 to Halter. Runners go, and it's swung on, tap to the right side. Hunt fields it, fires to the covering pitcher, Halter, and that ends the top of the second. Marshall does, however, tie it. A pair of RBI singles from Cleary Simpson and Evan Batone, 2-2 through an inning and a half. Bottom of the second inning, Drew Harlow back out there for Marshall. Gave up 2 runs in the first inning. What'd you see from him? What are some ways for him to improve here in the bottom of the second?
Well, he's going to have to be able to throw a breaking ball, that's a somewhat of a threat to the Citadel hitters. He was able to get Tobin on it to end the inning. That was really the best one he threw. The Citadel offensively is going to try to hit things backside. So if you're really just sitting on fastball changeup, it helps you eliminate and keep your sights that way.
Matthew Lively looks at a first pitch breaking ball that missed for ball one. 8-9-1 due up here for the Citadel in the bottom of the second. Another breaking ball on the outer half. A called strike to even it at 1-1.
And I imagine that was part of the conversation in between innings. You see him come out, first two pitches, really tried to establish it.
Trickles in. Blocked by Service. So 2-1. Patel on deck. Williams to follow. Here in the bottom of the second inning. 7 batters came to the plate in the first for the Citadel. They scored twice on 3 hits and left 2 on. The 2-1. Didn't look like a bad pitch. Maybe a touch outside. 3-1.
Yeah, now you're behind on the leadoff hitter, 3-1, 8-hole hitter. Offense puts up 2 runs. Last thing you can do is come out and walk the leadoff hitter.
3-1 right in there over the heart of the plate. Full count.
We'll see what he goes to. I imagine he's got to go to the fastball. Just not enough confidence that he can flip a breaking ball in for a strike.
Here's the payoff. Breaking ball. Lively fouled it off to stay alive. Lively looking to turn it on here. He's 1 for his first 13 to start off the season.
That one hit was a big one. 2-out RBI single last weekend.
Harlow from the wind and fires a 3-2 fastball outside, and Lively works a walk to begin the bottom of the second.
Fell behind. Was able to get Lively to swing at a slider, but he fouled it off and tried to come back. Fastball at 92, just down and off the plate. Now you put a good runner at first. Patel, a good runner at the plate. I think there's a pretty good chance he may be bunting, maybe try for a hit the first one. But Lively always a threat to run at first.
High and tight on Patel. He did square and took the bat back. Pretty nimble there. Had to really contort his body to get out of the way of that ball. He shows bunt and takes it back. Pitch missed low. Trickles away from Service out in front of him. He fires to second, not in time, so Lively gets in scoring position. 2-0 to count to Patel with none out.
Yeah, changeup pretty similar to the one that got through Service in the first inning. Just a little in between whether he was going to block or catch. Hits off the kind of the outside of his glove. Didn't trickle far, but really aggressive over at first from Lively. I don't think Service was expecting him to run, so didn't pounce on it super quick.
Patel squared, took it back. Pitches a called strike on a fastball. They do call that a pass ball to allow Lively to get to second. Patel drops the bunt down beautifully up the third base line. The throw to first is in time for the out. So Patel advances Lively to third on what will be appropriately called a sacrifice bunt. So now 1 out and the Citadel goes back to the top of its order with Williams.
That's a really nice bunt from Patel. Honestly, it's a really good play from Simpson over at third. I don't know if you could have asked for a better bunt from Patel for a hit, but he did a nice job over at third to come in, make that play, and get a much-needed out.
High tapper to the shortstop. Throw to the plate is not in time. Infield was playing in. A one-hopper from Williams to the shortstop Onati that he leapt and got in his glove. The throw to the plate was just late, so Lively in to score, and the Citadel back in front 3-2.
Yeah, I don't like that decision there to throw that ball to the plate. A high chopper, it took you off your feet. Lively, a really good runner at third, got a really good jump. It's the second inning. You're in a tie game. You know, you're okay to allow that run to score, right? You take the out at first, and you have nobody on and 2 outs, and you're only down a run. But now instead you have a really good runner at first, and you still only have 1 out. Top of the order, 2, 3, 4, who did some damage last inning up.
So a fielder's choice RBI for Jaden Williams. 1 ball and no strikes to count here to TJ Anderson. Check on Williams over at first, pretty close, but he's safe. And that is an unearned run because of the pass ball.
I just don't like early in the game, you're trying to limit damage, and
another close pickoff attempt.
Yeah, you have a situation there. Again, runner at third, high chopper. You know, maybe he has a chance with a good throw and a good tag, but is the risk worth the reward of getting that guy out, especially with Williams, who's a really good runner, and he's just going to continue to put pressure on you on the bases.
Change up in there for a strike. One and one the count, 1 on, 1 out, and a run in here in the bottom of the second. Arlo comes set, slide steps home. Williams took off. A delayed steal, throw to second is not in time. Service made an off-balance throw to second from behind the plate. Fell down after he let the ball go, but a man in scoring position with 1 gone here for the Citadel.
This is a really nice job at the plate from Anderson. Service kind of backhanded, picked it, and was falling to his right into Anderson, the left-handed hitter. As a hitter, you have the right to stay in the box. You can't, you know, as long as you don't move and obstruct the catcher, you know, it's your right to be in there, and that really was the difference there. You know, a lot of hitters, as soon as they take a pitch, they'll kind of step out. If he takes a step back there, he's definitely going to get batters interference. Yeah.
Strike called on a fastball outside corner, so it's 2-2 now. Williams gets credit for the stolen base. Now 3 for 3 in steals on the season, as that's chopped foul just to the right of first base. So another 2-2 coming to Anderson, who singled in the first inning, wound up scoring on a wild pitch. Williams is still at second. Shortstop Onati creeping towards second base, but not necessarily holding the runner. Slide step in the pitch is swung on and missed. Got him with a changeup. And that's the first strikeout for Harlow. Now 2 outs at the bottom of the second.
It's a good changeup. Middle down. TJ just out in front. Swings right over top of it. You've got to make a pitch here if you're Harlow. You know, you do have a base open, but you know, you're facing Phillips, who had 2 hits yesterday. Zach Hunt on deck, 2 hits yesterday.
Williams takes off from second. The pitch is low, and the throw goes into left field. Williams will score, and it's a 4-2 game. Not a great throw from Service to third. It was to Cleary Simpson's left. He made a good effort to try and catch it, but he couldn't. That'll be an error on the catcher. And a 2-run lead once again for the Citadel.
Yeah, I'm not sure if there was even a reason to throw that ball. Williams had a great jump. He was going to be in easily at third. You have a right-handed hitter that makes it tough as is. You had a pitch moving down and away. And then you just throw it away. Instead of making Phillips work to get a hit to drive in the run with 2 outs, you just go ahead and let him score, and that's what the pressure does. Again, if you take that out at first on the ground ball, the inning's over.
Driven out to right center field. Daniels puts this one in the gap. It's going to roll to the wall, and he has a stand-up double with 2 outs.
Ends up not mattering a whole lot there on the stolen base. Fastball, middle away. Phillips seeing the ball really well right now. Just stays with it, lines it in the right center. Again, you just go back to small decisions. You're just trying to defend the big inning. Again, you're okay if one-run scores, but because of that one decision, Citadel's been able to capitalize. They've got one more run in, still in business with 2 outs in an inning that should be over.
Breaking ball, first pitch swinging. Zach Hunt hits it on the ground to the shortstop, Onati, who moved to his right, fielded, fired in time. And that ends the bottom of the second inning, but a 2-run frame for the Bulldogs. It's 4-2 as we move to the third. They were able to answer the 2-run Marshall top of the second. The Citadel in front, top of the third inning here at Joe Riley Park with Travis Lott. I'm RJ Taylor here on a Saturday late morning, 11:54 local time. If you joined late, the first pitch was pushed up 6 hours due to some looming weather in the Charleston area later this evening. First pitch from Bryce Coulter to start off the top of the third is a breaking ball low. 1 ball and no strikes to Tyler Kammerer, the Marshall second baseman and cleanup hitter. And there's a called strike to even the count on a fastball. So Kammerer, Cooper Hinson, and Ethan Murdoch due up for the herd here in the top of the third. And there's another strike. Bottom of the zone, outside corner. And it's 1-2. 2 runs, 3 hits, 1 error for Marshall. 4-4-0 for the Citadel. Hooked foul over past the third base coach's box.
Breaking ball again, that too much of the plate. It's the one thing Coulter struggled with. He's done a really, really nice job of getting the 2 strikes, but he has struggled to put guys away.
The 1-2. Swing and a miss. Ball was in the dirt. Fulmer applies the tag. Kammerer strikes out for the second time, and that's the third strikeout for the right-hander Coulter.
Yeah, and that was well executed. Change up, down, right over the plate. Again, you want to get a guy to swing on a change up. Nice job from Fulmer back there to smother it, make the play.
And there a called strike. Backdoor breaking ball there from Coulter to the left-hand hitting Cooper Hinson. Fly to center on the first pitch at the top of the second from Coulter. Another breaking ball that goes in there for a called strike, too.
Coulter's working really, really quickly. Just 5 seconds off the pitch clock before he was delivering that next pitch.
Breaking ball outside, 1-2. Same thing again. He kicks and delivers. Line drive out into right center field, and Williams had to play it on a hop. He closed it on the ball very quickly, but a 1-out single for Cooper Hinson. He's on base for the first time in this game.
That's really just a good piece of hitting there from Hinson. I like the setup. 0-2, Coulter went to the big breaking ball, missed away, up and away, and that's kind of been where he's missed with it. And then tried to go fastball up and away, which is a good pitch off of it. But I think Hinson eliminated that curveball, and nice piece of hitting.
Ethan Murdoch looks at a strike. Slider on the outer half. Righty-righty here. Murdoch singled and scored last inning. Slider that was a little bit inside. Actually, it might have been a curveball there. 1-1 the count. Throw over to first. Wind now starting to blow in from right center, which is what we saw most of last night. Pulled the string there and a changeup. Swung on and missed, 1-2.
That was a little bit different than most of the changeups he's thrown. Really no arm side movement, kind of just a straight change way out in front.
Fouled off to the right.
Again, 1-2, 2 strikes on another hitter. Can he either put him away, get a strikeout, or get weak contact? That slider was center cut right there. Got away with one.
Another pickoff attempt over to first. Inside to Murdoch on a curve. So the count 2-2. Mason Onati is on deck. As Coulter gets his sign, comes set above the belt. Kicks and delivers. Slider served down the right field line. It's slicing and will hit off the net. So Murdoch keeps himself alive, kind of lunged at that ball. What you have to do there with 2 strikes to make sure you live to see another pitch. Two and two here with 1 out. Coulter chest high set. In the dirt, Fulmer blocked it. Throw towards second, goes into center field. Great effort, though, by Lane Tobin. He dove to keep that ball from getting even further into the outfield. And it keeps Henson at second base. He was chasing the play, serving as the backup. Second baseman Patel covered the bag. And a really great job there by Lane Tobin. Now the count full with a man at second and 1 out the pitch. High fly ball, right center field. Lively moves to his left. Williams calls and catches. Henson stays at second. So now 2 outs. After a long at-bat to Murdoch, results in a flyout.
It ends up being a big play from Tobin because he had to go a long way. You know, that ball was probably 6 or 7 feet on the first base side of second base. If he doesn't get to that, Henson ends up at third, and that ends up being a sacrifice fly to score the run. And, you know, for Fulmer, they're maybe a little too aggressive. Henson got a really good jump. Ball got pretty far away from him. Throw off balance.
The left-hand hitting Mason Onati looks at a first pitch ball and a change.
I think that's just a situation where you don't turn bad in the worst. Obviously, you know, you do a nice job to block that and keep it in front, but, you know, it kind of rolled pretty almost outside the circle.
Coulter checks second, now comes home. On the ground foul on a fastball over past first. Onati walked in the second and wound up scoring on the Evan Batone single. Citadel infield for the most part playing straight up. Lively shaded a little to the left of second base out in center field. And there's a strike on a breaking ball on the outer half. So the count now 1-2 on Onati. Coulter a strike away from sending this one to the home third. He's set above the belt, kicks and fires. And that's going to go to the backstop. Breaking ball low and away. Fulmer unable to stop it. That allows Henson to get to third. Count now 2-2 with a man 90 feet away.
This curveball there, not overly off the plate, but Fulmer just not able to get quite out to it.
The 2-2. Line outside, full count. Fastball there at 90. Sun trying to peek through here at the Joe. Coulter locks the right foot in on the rubber, gets the sign from Fulmer, now comes set. Eyes locked in on the plate, and the 3-2 is chopped over the mound, left side of second base. Tobin to his left. Fields throws it low, but picked at first by Hunt, and that ends the inning. So that sends us to the bottom of the third. No runs, a hit, no errors, one left, 4-2. The Bulldogs are in front. Bottom of the third inning here in Charleston, 4-2. The Bulldogs are in front. Christian Stratus, Garrett Fulmer, Lane Tobin due up for the Citadel. Stratus walked his only time up in the first. Swing and a foul tip off the home plate umpire. Gary Smetana, nothing in one the count to the designated hitter for the Bulldogs. Wind has died down. Sun still trying to peek through. It's one of those days where it's like too bright without the sunglasses, but then you put the sunglasses on and it's too dark.
Yeah, and it peaks in and out. You get 5 minutes with it somewhat darker.
Pulled foul over past third. Not foul by much.
It's a pretty nice day right now to play some baseball. I know the weather's coming in later, but low 70s right here. It's not too humid. A little bit of wind, some heavier wind gusts, but it's a nice day right now.
And the 0-2's hit foul. Two runs in each of the first two innings for the Bulldogs. Marshall scored its two in the top of the second, each team with 4 hits. As Harlow fires the 0-2. Slider, good block by Service. Half swing, no swing on the appeal to first. There's the pitch from Harlow, and it misses. Downstairs. So now the count 2-2. Harlow working quickly from the wind and fires. Strike 3 called on the outer half. Fastball there, painted the corner. Now 1 out in the bottom of the 3rd.
92-mile-an-hour fastball. Like you said, it really paints the corner right there. I think Stratus was probably looking for the breaking ball again, something running away from him, or even the changeup that he got before. When you throw that changeup right on right, when it's over the heart of the plate, it looks pretty similar to a fastball on the outer 3rd.
Fulmer fouls it off, 0-1. Fulmer singled for his first hit of the season back in the 1st inning. From the wind to the 0-1. Foul ball down the right field line out of play, 0-2.
Yeah, Harlow's found the command of the cutter a little bit better as he's gotten going. 2 in a row to Fulmer. Was late. I think he's got an opportunity. He could go fastball in if he wanted to.
Went upstairs with a fastball. Fulmer swung and missed. Back-to-back strikeouts here to start the bottom of the 3rd. Now 3 in total for Harlow.
That's a good sequence there. It's probably the best sequence he's had of the day. Was able to execute 2 cutters that were kind of middle up. You know, at 85, Fulmer was late, fouled him off to the right side. Then you just climb the ladder a little bit more with the fastball. Blow it right past him.
Lane Tobin looks at strike 1 on a breaking ball. Over the inside corner. Tobin grounded to 3rd to end the bottom of the 1st. The 0-1. Just low. So an even 1-1 count on the Citadel shortstop. Marshall defensively straight up in the infield and outfield. And a strike on the outer half. So now 1 ball and 2 strikes. Harlow a strike away from a 1-2-3 frame. He winds and fires, and that's hit fair just inside first base. Rolls off the sidewall near the Citadel bullpen, and Tobin stands at second base with a 2-out double.
Good approach there from Lane. 2 strikes on him. You know, got a changeup right before that. Just stays inside, trying to hit something the other way, trying to hit something off his back hip, you know, to keep his bat in the zone so that he's not chasing a breaking ball out of the zone. Gets a fastball, not a well-executed pitch there from Harlow. If he goes up, you know, he probably has a similar result to what happened with Fulmer. Fastball center cut. Tobin's able to get good barrel on it and keep it inside the first base line.
Slide step of the first pitch to Lively's in there for a strike. Breaking ball over the middle of the plate, bottom of the zone.
That's got to feel good for Lane, too. Finally able to get on the board with a hit this year. He's had some tough outs. Hit some balls hard, right 2 guys.
He's 0 for his first 9 entering today's play. The 0-1 pitch missed high, 1 ball and 1 strike.
Yeah, it's probably not something, if you're not looking at the stats, you wouldn't realize, because he's been on base a lot. He's been hit at least 4 times already this year. So he's put together good at bats and found ways to get on base. And yeah, I think if you're Coach Triplett, you're pleased that you have a guy that even when he's not hitting, it's just finding ways to help the team and finding ways to get on base.
Long pause in the 1-1. Slider called strike right at the top of the zone, and it's now 2-2. Yeah, you're right. I mean, despite Tobin being 0 for 9 on the season entering this game, he has a .308 on base percentage. Now the 2-2 slide step, and the pitch is just outside.
Good take there from Lively.
Fans weren't happy with that 2-1 pitch called a strike. And the 3-2 swung on and missed. A strikeout ends the inning. 3 strikeouts in the frame for Harlow. Now he has 4 on the day. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 left, 3 complete in a 4-2 game. Top of the 4th inning, the Citadel in front 4-2 here at Joseph P. Riley Jr. Ballpark. Gave it the full name there, full name treatment. 2 runs, 4 hits, 1 error for Marshall, 4-5-0 for the Citadel. Bulldogs have left 4 on base, Marshall 5. Coulter from the wind, first pitch, breaking ball swung on and missed by Oliver Service, the Marshall catcher, leading off the top of the 4th inning. Service 8th in the order. Cleary Simpson after him. Back to the top of the order with Patone. Line down the left field line for a base hit. Anderson cuts it off and fires into Tobin. So a leadoff single for the Marshall catcher to begin the 4th.
Yeah, not a bad pitch there from Coulter. Goes with the slider. It's down and away. Service able to do a nice job of just keeping his barrel through the zone. Was certainly out in front of it, but again, just a nice job to kind of hang on, keep that barrel through the zone and get something on it and flip it out in the left field. And looks like we're still going to be looking for our first clean inning of the game.
Cleary Simpson behind, no balls and a strike. Service being held on, and the 0-1 misses outside on a fastball. 1 ball and 1 strike. Simpson drove in a run in the 2nd with a single. The pitch, outside 2-1.
Let's see, 9-hole hitter here. Patone on deck. Well, there's some action in the Citadel bullpen. You know, I don't know if it's for sure that this would be Coulter's last hitter, but it's certainly got to be a thought that you want him to see Patone for the 3rd time.
Service back in after a pickoff attempt. Count 2-1 here as Coulter comes set. Kicks and fires to Simpson. Swung on over the mound, and it goes into center field past a diving Patel behind second base. Service advances from 1st to 3rd. So Simpson now with a 2-for-2 game. Both of his hits are singles, and Marshall has him at the corners with nobody out.
Nice job there from Simpson. Got a fastball up in the zone, was able to get on top of it. Found a hole up the middle. It looked like Coulter was going to be able to knock it down, but it evaded his glove, and then just out of the reach of the diving Patel. Good base running from Service, goes 1st to 3rd, and Marshall's in business.
Swing, high fly ball off the bat of Patone, deep to right, and that's a no-doubter. Over the palm trees, way over the right field wall. A 3-run home run for Evan Batone and a 5-4 lead for the Herd.
Yeah, I mean, I know we're early here in the game in the 4th inning. You're trying to get some length from your starter, but I don't know. Batone's seen him really well. And there's no doubt. Slider, middle, 109 off the bat. He knew it as soon as he hit it. 394 feet.
And that's all for Bryce Coulter. James Reeves just came out and raised the right arm. So for Batone, that was his 2nd home run of the season. Give him now 6 RBIs in 2026. The Citadel will bring in a new pitcher, 3+ here for Coulter. It'll be a right-hander, and we'll tell you more about him here momentarily. Jacob Deacon, the right-hander, is the new pitcher for the Citadel. 6'3", 205 pounds from Goose Creek, South Carolina, making his 2nd appearance on the year.
He had a good opening weekend. An inning in the 3rd, came in with a couple runners on, got out of it. And then it put up a 0 in his first full inning. No runs, a hit. Did walk 2, but punched out 2. Good fastball, mid upper 80s, maybe into the low 90s, but a really good breaking ball that he's going to rely on.
First 2 pitches to A.J. Havrilla missed. His appearance came Sunday against Liberty. And the 2-0 is outside on a fastball. 3 balls and no strikes. Havrilla flied to left in the 1st. Drew a walk in the 2nd. Deacon from the wind, kicks and fires. And that's a 4-pitch walk. Slider missed downstairs. So Havrilla's aboard here. The first 4 to come up for Marshall this inning have reached. 2 singles, a home run, and now a walk.
And I think just going back to the decision to let Coulter face Batone for a 3rd time. You know, again, trying to get length out of your starter, but you only used 2 pitchers yesterday, so your bullpen's really in a good spot for the final 2 games. You know, you didn't have to have Coulter get to the 6th inning, you know, just because you used a bunch of pitchers last night.
First pitch ball to Jackson Halter. 2 ground outs to first so far this early afternoon for him, as the 1-0 misses high. 2 balls and no strikes.
This is going to be a good visit right here from Fulmer.
Yeah, first 6 have missed from Deacon here.
Yeah, and you know, none super close, you know, borderline, but your freshman making his 2nd appearance, coming in right after a go-ahead 3-run home run, so kind of a big moment. And just to settle him down and just try to reset.
So 2 balls and no strikes here in a 5-4 game. as Deacon comes set just above the belt, slide step, and the pitch is outside. So the first 7 that Deacon has fired have missed. 3 balls and no strikes. And that's high and outside, not even close. On a fastball there. Back-to-back walks here to begin the appearance here for Jacob Deacon, both on 4 pitches. I mean, if you're in Fulmer's spot here, just from a game calling standpoint, I mean, just fastballs here, just try and get something in the strike zone.
Yeah, you just got to find something. The fastball hasn't been closed. You know, like I said, the breaking ball is his best pitch, but he bounces one there. It just seems like he doesn't have feel for either of those pitches, and it's going to be hard for him. You know, he's got to change up, but that's, you know, no doubt his 3rd pitch. So, you know, he's got to have either the fastball or the breaking ball.
So 1 ball and no strikes after Jackson Holter walked. Tyler Kammerer, their second baseman and cleanup hitter, now up.
You know, but the one thing, you know, his breaking ball is so good, and he does have good stuff, so he has the ability to pitch his way out of it. You know, because he's a guy that can and will strike out a decent amount of guys using that breaking ball. But it's just, can he find that first strike as he misses down with another fastball?
So now 2 balls and no strikes, 2 strikeouts for Kammerer so far. Avrilla at second, Holter at first here, still none out. And the top of the 4th, slide step in the pitch, misses high on a fastball, 3-0.
Yeah.
Actually, that should have been a strike. It was in the zone, at least from what we can see.
Yeah, it's tough. Borderline pitch, but when you've thrown so many in a row, it's tough to get those borderline calls.
That's right in there. 3 balls and a strike on a fastball. So after 11 straight missed, number 12 is in there to make it a 3-1 count. Cooper Henson waits on deck. Slide step in the 3-1 is in there for a strike inside corner. 88-mile-an-hour fastball at a full count.
He's worked himself back into it with a fastball. Got to make a pitch here.
The pitch is hit foul right above us. Thought it almost had the angle to come into the booth. We were talking last week. It's hard for foul balls to come this way just because we are a little bit lower and the net's still in front of us.
I think that was about as close as we may get without it actually coming in here.
Here's the 3-2. High chopper right side. Patel Fields moving to his left and gets the out at first. That advances the 2 runners over to second and third. Now 1 away here in the top of the 4th. I remember when I was calling games in the Northwoods League, we were on the road in Eau Claire, Wisconsin, and the ballpark that they play in is really old, built in the 30s. It used to be a minor league ballpark for the Milwaukee Braves. Hank Aaron played there and everything else, but the press box, or the broadcast booth, is situated above the roof of the grandstand. First pitch is a slider in there for a strike to Henson. And we're pretty high up, have a bird's eye view of the field. A lot of foul balls make their way in there, and one almost decapitated me. Ducked out of the way, but go back and listen. You can hear the just clank that the ball makes hitting off the back wall of the booth. Back-to-back strikes. Here's the 0-2 to Henson. Fisted on the ground left side. Charging Tobin. Fires off balance in time for the second out. That brings it a run. Avrilla in from third. Holter advances to third, and that makes it now 7-4. 6-4, excuse me.
He was able to get ahead, 0-2, 2 breaking balls. Tried to go to it again. If he buries it, you know, with second and third, 1 out, you get a guy to 2 strikes. You can play for the punch out, but missed over the plate. And nice job from Henson just to be able to get the run in. You know, but if Deacon's able to get out of this with just 1 run allowed, you have to feel good, you know, for him. Put the first 2 guys on through 11 straight just to minimize it to, 4 in the inning. Obviously the 3-run homer before he took the mound, but it's got to be a confidence booster for him if he can get out of it with just the one.
First pitch a strike, second pitch miss. Now the 1-1 is a breaking ball hit in the air right field. Williams didn't have to move much to make the catch on that one. That ends the inning, but a 4-run top of the fourth for the Thundering Herd. Evan Batone hit a towering 3-run home run, and it's now 6-4 through 3.5.
The Overhead Door Company of Charleston is a locally owned garage door service provider and is a proud sponsor of the Citadel Bulldogs. Look for the red ribbon logo.
Bottom of the fourth inning, Marshall in front 6-4. They have their first lead of the game. Let's see how Drew Harlow pitches with the lead. Ariane Patel, batting ninth for the Citadel, leads off the bottom of the fourth. So it'll be him, Williams, and Anderson due up in this frame.
This is a good part of the order you want up if you're the Citadel and you're trying to answer the 4th spot. Harlow coming off of a good inning. Struck out the side with a double mixed in the 3rd.
Harlow, long look in from the wind. And the first pitch is taken for a strike. Cleary Simpson at third, playing in right on the cut of the grass. Straight up for the rest of the infield. I'm sure Simpson anticipating a bunt. Patel did drop a bunt down in yesterday's game with nobody on base. And that's outside 1-1. I'm sure he will ignore the fact that he was given a sacrifice despite there not being anybody on base in that situation. Helps the batting average just a smidge. From the wind, the 1-1. That one misses high on a fastball, 2-1.
It seems like Harlow's found his cutter a little bit, the command. I think that was the difference last inning is he threw that competitively in the zone, but then when he wanted to go off the plate with it, he was able to execute it.
Patel lunged on it on the ground to the shortstop. Nadi, who fielded, fired off balance. Good pick by Havrilla at first. So that's the first out here at the bottom of the fourth.
It's a really nice play there. Jam shot, so it's probably spinning a little bit off. Gloved it cleanly. Patel's a decent runner down the line. That's a play that needed to be made there. If you're Marshall, get that leadoff hitter out after you put up the 4th spot, take your first lead. Again, Williams has had a nice weekend.
So back to the top of the order here as Jaden Williams stands in for the 3rd time. He looks at a first pitch fastball for strike 1. He singled and scored in the first, had an RBI fielder's choice in the second, and wound up scoring. The 0-1 from Harlow. Swing and a miss. Off-speed pitch there, 0-2.
Yeah, there's that cutter. But he just couldn't execute early. He was trying to throw that same pitch just off the plate, but he was starting it as a ball, so it obviously finished as a ball, but now he's been able to start it as a strike and let it run off the plate.
0-2 missed there on a fastball. 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1 out. Marshall defense, for the most part, aligned normally. Center fielder Batone playing in a little bit in the dirt there. So now Williams even up, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Pretty good crowd on hand here today. They were well adjusted to the new start time of this game as the 2-2 comes in. And there's strike 3 called. Fastball that froze Williams, and now there are 2 gone here in the bottom of the 4th.
And just adding that cutter has made his fastball play up. He's still 90 to 92. Nothing's really changed with the shape of his fastball. But when you have to respect the cutter, which is at 85, it makes that 91-mile-an-hour heater play up to maybe 93, 94. And he's just been able to freeze some guys looking at some good pitches.
TJ Anderson looks at ball 1. First pitch fastball. Pretty comparable crowd from yesterday. Less vocal today. I think not as many people were indulging in adult beverages at 11 o'clock in the morning as they may have been at 5 p.m. in a rain delay yesterday. 1-1 now.
Yeah, I think a 5 p.m. start this afternoon.
We would have had a more vocal crowd with a 5
yeah.
p.m. Saturday start.
Yeah, I think there would have been some. There's normally a couple groups out there before games get together and spend some time.
Anderson swings and flies this one out to left field. Henson moved back on it and caught it. And a 1-2-3 bottom of the 4th for Drew Harlow. He's starting to settle in. 6-4 Marshall in front here as we head to the 5th. Six-4 here, Marshall in front, top of the 5th. Jacob Deacons still out there for the Citadel. Marshall had 8 come up to the plate in the 4th inning. They scored 4 to take their first lead of the game.
And just to close the line on Coulter, the right-hander finished 3 innings, 7 hits, 5 runs, 3 coming on that big Batone home run.
Line drive, base hit left field, played on 1 hop by TJ Anderson. So Mason Onati swings to the first pitch and is now on base for the 2nd time in this game. All those runs Coulter gave up 2 are earned.
I think the biggest thing when he goes back and looks at this one is, you're always, you say it's a race to get the 2 strikes. You want to get the 2 strikes as fast as you can, just playing the game. Obviously the average for hitters goes significantly down when you get the 2 strikes because they've got to protect. They maybe expand the zone a little bit, but he just wasn't quite able to put guys away. Credit a little bit to Marshall offensively, just because they were able to take advantage of some mistakes he made with 2 strikes.
1 ball and no strikes, the count here to Service. Deacon set in there for a strike. Inner half of the plate, now 1-1. Service struck out looking in the 2nd, singled and scored last inning. Transferred in from Texas. He spent his first 2 collegiate seasons as a Longhorn from Michigan, called strike 2. Didn't play a lot with the Longhorns, though, just 9 appearances in 2 seasons. Cleary Simpson is on deck. Deacon comes set. Long pause above the belt. Slide step in the 1-2 is hit up the middle and a base hit. So 2 base hits to center field for service. And that puts runners at first and second with none out here for the Herd.
Breaking ball down below the zone, not a bad pitch at all. But that's the second straight at bat that Service has been a little bit out in front on a breaking ball, but has just done a really nice job of being able to keep his barrel through the zone. You know, it gives him a better chance to hit when he's either late or early, you know, getting that barrel in the zone and keeping it there as long as you can.
Cleary Simpson, the 9-hole hitter now. Left-hander, shows bunt, took it back, and the first pitch is a strike called on the outside corner.
Yeah, I'm not surprised at all to see Simpson bunting. He's 2 for 2 today, but with Batone on deck, you want to try to give him an opportunity to hit with the 2 guys in scoring position.
Drop down up the third base line, and it trickles foul. Fulmer picked it up at foul ground, about 15 feet out in front of the plate. So 0-2. Nobody out.
We'll see if they keep it on. Chase that one a little bit off the plate, trying to get it down. Deacon's got him set up 2 fastballs.
Yeah, it would have been ball 1 had he taken the bat back. Simpson half-heartedly squares, now brings it across, and bunted foul. He's out.
And I think what they're actually going to call, I actually think it hit his elbow guard, but he had leaned out so far over the plate to bunt that as he turned, he was very clearly out in the strike zone.
Yeah.
We look at it here, that pitch is, you know, it's not even close to being a ball. It is middle of the plate. I don't think there's any question about that one.
Craig Beals, the Marshall head coach, now talking with the home plate umpire, Gary Smetana, just to the left of home plate, as Simpson walks back to the dugout. Now, it's interesting, though, the rule for that specific situation is different in the college game versus the pro game, because in the pro game, it depends on if you lean into a pitch, and you get hit and the umpire calls it, it depends on whether he judges it as a strike or not. Like, it could be a ball against you, but in the college game, it's a strike no matter what.
Right. Yeah.
Even if it was 5 feet inside, you lean in and
Right.
and try and get hit by it. It's still a strike. That's outside for ball 1 as they go back to the top of the order here with Batone now with 1 out. That does go down as a strikeout, so the first here for Deacon.
Yeah, I think for Simpson, that was the best pitch he had in the at-bat to bunt. I mean, it was pretty middle of the plate.
The 1-0. Breaking ball taken for a called strike 1. Batone, walk, single, home run, 4 RBIs. Here's the pitch, swing and a miss. High fastball there, would have been a ball, but he couldn't resist, and the count 1-2.
Yeah, that's a good pitch there from Deacon. That's where his fastball has to be, coming off of that breaking ball. He'll get a lot of swings like that.
The 1-2, high 2-2.
Went back to it, a good pitch right there, but Batone had just seen it the pitch before. Was probably determined in his mind not to chase it again.
The set from Deacon, he looks at second, now looks back home and fires, breaking ball, strike 3 called. Caught the outside corner, so now back-to-back strikeouts for the freshman. 2 gone as A.J. Havrilla now stands in.
I mentioned it last inning. You know, he has the ability, his stuff gives him, you know, the opportunity to be able to pitch out of jams with the strikeouts.
Inside, ball one to Havrilla. Fly to left in the first, walked in the second, walked again last inning. Wound up scoring on a Cooper Henson RBI ground out. As Deacon comes set, glances towards second. Slide step in the pitch home is swung on, popped up. Shallow right field. Williams comes in on it and moves toward the line and makes the catch. And that ends the inning. 2 singles to start the inning, but Deacon retires the next 3. Halfway home in this one, a 6-4 Marshall lead.
Today, we're proud to recognize our military veterans in the crowd. True vet solutions helps process.
Bottom of the 5th here in a 6-4 game. Marshall in front. Phillips Daniels, Zach Hunt, Christian Stratus due up for the Bulldogs here. 3, 4, 5 in the lineup. 6 runs, 9 hits, 1 error for Marshall. 4-5-0 for the Citadel. 3 left on for the Bulldogs. 8 left on for Marshall. I'm sure that's something Greg Beals is thinking about right now. This could certainly not be a 6-4 game. Marshall could have a bigger lead than what they currently do have. As the first pitch from Harlow is a breaking ball that misses low for ball 1. Daniels a sac bunt in the first, a double in the second inning. Harlow's story kind of interesting, at least his collegiate journey. There's a foul ball and it's 1-1. He started at the community college level at Patrick and Henry Community College. Went to Marshall in 2023. Wanted to try and be a grad transfer, but the NCAA wouldn't let him do that at the Division I level. Line drive, base hit, center field. So Daniels is on with a second hit of the game to lead off the bottom of the 5th. So he was able to use a grad transfer year at the D2 level, so he went to Lenore-Rhine because of NCAA eligibility rules. He was eligible for Division II play after the community college years, but not Division I play, and the NCAA subsequently overturned its initial ruling, and Greg Beals and the Marshall staff welcomed him back for this year. 1 ball and no strikes to Zach Hunt after the single. 2 ground outs for the Citadel first baseman, 1 to second, which brought in a run, and then another 1 to short. Harlow set above the belt, and the pitch is hit foul. So the count 1-1 as Travis Lott gets a free lunch.
The perks of having parents at the game.
On the ground toward third, fielded behind the bag by Simpson. They get the force at second. Good turn and a double play. Hunt not the fleetest of foot. Marshall able to get 2 for the price of 1, so now 2 gone, bases empty here in the bottom of the 5th.
That's a really nice turn there from Marshall. That ball took Simpson about 2 steps to his right, going away from second base. Had to backhand it. Again, ball not hit hard, just 70 miles an hour off the bat. He did a nice job. Glove it cleanly, made a strong throw to second, and a really nice turn from Kammerer up the middle.
In there for a strike. Christian Stratus took a breaking ball. Walked in the first, struck out looking back in the third. That goes to the backstop, spiked in there. What's in that paper bag? I'm sure the audience is waiting with bated breath.
I believe it's a hot dog and fries. And that is correct.
And a Coke?
I'll be honest, I really don't know what it is. I said whatever when I was asked. I wasn't sure what they had.
Here's the 1-1. Breaking ball grounded over the mound. Sliding stop by Onati to his left. Spins and fires to first late. So Stratus reaches with 2 outs. That keeps the inning alive. And up comes Garrett Fulmer after a Stratus single for his first hit of the game.
Yeah, just a nubber, kind of off the end of the bat, spinning them away from the shortstop up the middle. Really did a nice job to get there and glove it. Smooth transition on the slide. Made a strong throw to first, but Stratus beats it out by about half a step.
Fulmer singled in the first and struck out in the third. In the dirt, friendly carom for service. Stratus is safe at second, though. Strong throw, but just a little bit late. Looked like it caromed off service, then Fulmer, which helped out the Marshall catcher.
Yeah, it kept it right in front of him. Stratus got a good jump. Good throw from service, but really no chance there. Stratus was pretty aggressive.
The 1-0 is hit to the opposite field, and it will get past Halter. He dove for the ball, and it's going to roll to the warning track. Stratus will score. Fulmer hustling around second. He's in standing at third. That makes it a 1-run game with the tying run 90 feet away. Good effort there by Jackson Halter in right field. Just couldn't come up with it.
Yeah, probably not a great decision to dive for it there. It was tailing down the right field line, so he didn't have anybody there behind him. Stratus was going to score easy.
Yeah, I was going to say, you just maybe didn't want to allow Fulmer to get to third, but Stratus would have scored anyway because that ball was hit deep enough into the outfield.
Yeah, you try to keep Fulmer at first there. Again, you give up the run, you still have a 1-run lead, right, with Fulmer at first, not the fleetest of foot, so it's going to take, it would probably have taken something to the wall to score him from first. Again, you just try to get out of the inning with the lead.
So an RBI triple for Fulmer for his his second RBI of the year. Aaron Blair, the pitching coach for Marshall, made a quick visit out to the mound. He's a guy that is very notorious around Huntington. Was inducted into their Hall of Fame last year.
It's a good sign for the Citadel. 2 hits from Fulmer. You know, if they can feel confident that putting him in there, you know, offensively and defensively, it could be huge for lineup flexibility. You know, Phillips gives you the ability to, you know, he can catch, and he's certainly going to do that the majority of the time, but slide over to third like he is today allows you to get Patel over at second and lengthen your lineup just a little bit.
1 ball and no strikes to count to Tobin. Swung on, hit on the ground to the shortstop. Onati played it after the second hop, and the throw across is in time. And that ends the inning. So a run for the Citadel. They get one back on 3 hits, no errors, and 1 left. 6-5 as we move to the 6th.
Back here in Charleston, through 5 innings. Marshall a 6-5 lead. They'll try to extend it here. 3-4-5 due up. Halter, Kammerer, and Henson as they'll face Deacon, who's out to start the 5th for his 3rd inning.
Six-five game as Halter leads it off. Admirable work there from Travis Lott as a play-by-play guy to bring us back from break. Halter showed bunt, kept the bat around too long, 0-1. Deacon fires the 0-1, fly ball down the left field line, and it's caught in fair ground by Anderson. He then goes up against the wall, and that's the first out. Not much real estate there between the line and that sidewall once you get past the bullpen.
Yeah, nice play from Anderson. That ball was slicing away down the line. I think the only reason it stayed fair, we got a little bit of a wind. You know, it's mostly coming in, but just a tad bit towards right field. But he was shaded towards left center with the left-handed hitter up, so he had to go a long way, but it looked like he tracked it pretty well.
Yeah, for those who have never seen or been to Joe Riley Park, hot shot into left field off the bat of Tyler Kammerer, so a 1-out hit for him. That got past Lane Tobin, the shortstop. But once you get past the bullpen, it's sort of like Wrigley Field down the lines where there's basically no real estate between the line and the side wall. So 1 out and a man on first. Cooper Henson, the left-handed batter, takes one for ball 1 in the dirt. One oh's in there for a strike. Outer half of the plate. So now 1-1. Henson up for the 4th time. He's so far 1 for 3 with an RBI. Throw to first, not in time on a pickoff attempt. Kammerer dove back in safely.
Got a pretty wide hole over there on the right side. Hunt holding the runner on. Patel shade a little bit up the middle for, just to be in kind of standard double play depth.
Kammerer 0 for 1 in stolen base attempts on the year. There's a foul ball. Ethan Murdoch is on deck. Starting to get some more cloud cover here at Joe Riley Park, as this is hit on the ground right to Patel. A step to his left, a second one. Relay to first from Tobin is in time, and a double play ends the inning. No runs a hit, no errors, none left. We head to the bottom of the sixth in a 6-5 game. Good one here at the Joe. Bottom of the sixth inning here in a 6-5 game at Joe Riley Park. New pitcher here for Marshall. It's a left-hander, Blaine Albright. He's a redshirt sophomore. 6'3", 225 from Lima, Ohio. Bunt pushed up the first base line by Matthew Lively, and he's tagged out. Havrilla fielded it. Lively dove to the bag to avoid being tagged, but Havrilla got him in the back. So now one away here in the bottom of the sixth. I think it was a ball that Lively just pushed a little bit too hard because it moved pretty well up the first base line.
Yeah, a really headsy play over there at first from Havrilla because Albright was nowhere near going to be there in time to cover the bag at first. So the only play he had was to try to apply the tag.
First pitch is taken for strike one by Aryan Patel. This year for Albright, 3 2/3 innings. He appeared in the Valentine's Day game against Evansville. So far his only appearance on the year. 1 hit, 1 earned run, a walk, and 3 strikeouts. That was a game that Marshall won 18-11. And he gets credit for the win in that game. So he's 1-0 on the year. 1-1 is skied to left center field. Henson and Baton converge. It's the left fielder Henson making the catch on it for the second out.
Patel just a little bit out in front. Breaking ball, got up underneath it. Kind of a weak fly ball in the left. And you mentioned Albright pitching in the game last week that they won 18-11, but he covered 3 2/3, just 1 run. So you got to feel like he's got some confidence coming into this one. He was able to have success in a game that they didn't pitch well overall.
Back to the top of the order as Jaden Williams stands in. He took a breaking ball for a strike. Lefty-righty matchup here. Final totals for Harlow will come here in just a sec. 0-1 is in the dirt, 1-1. 5 innings, 8 hits, 5 earned runs, 2 walks, and 5 strikeouts for the Marshall right-hander. right now in line for the win. The 1-1 misses to make it now 2-1 on Williams. Off-speed pitch there stayed high.
Yeah, I thought Harlow did a nice job early on. He struggled, got hit around a little bit, couldn't find the cutter or slider. But they're finally in the third, fourth, fifth. He was able to, and he was able to settle in and do a nice job to get through 5. Because I'll be honest, after 2 innings, I wasn't sure he was going to get there.
He's settled into the 3rd and 4th for sure. And the 2-2. Didn't look like a bad pitch, but it's called ball 3.
Yeah, I think just missed down with it. Nice job, though, from Service behind the plate. He's done a nice job winning some pitches at the bottom.
Fouled off to the right by Williams. So he keeps himself alive here at a full count. Williams up for the 4th time. 1 for 2 so far as the 3-2 misses inside for ball 4. So he's on base for the 3rd time. He scored 2 runs. He represents the tying run here with 2 outs.
Yeah, I think we'll see him probably get moving here with 2 outs, try to get in scoring position for TJ, give him an opportunity to drive him in with 2 outs. I imagine we'll see a handful of pickoff attempts, especially with the lefty on the mound.
Check on Williams over at first, back in standing. Anderson singled and scored in the 1st, retired his next 2 at-bats. The first pitch is taken for a strike, breaking ball, bottom of the zone. High leg kick here from Albright, despite having a fast runner at first.
Yeah, I think as a left-handed pitcher, he's probably got eyes on him. You know, the high leg kick gives him some time that, you know, most base runners, you're going on first move against the lefty. It gives him some time to adjust if he's throwing over. But Williams has the attention of him, and he hits Anderson with a breaking ball that his arm just lagged behind it, backed up on him, and 2 on, 2 outs.
Hit Anderson in the back right between the numbers. So now Phillips Daniels has an RBI chance, and he's heated up offensively this weekend. Had a home run in yesterday's game. Wound up going 2 for 4 in that contest, and so far today he is 2 for 3. His last 2 at-bats have resulted in hits. A double and a single respectively. Trickles between the wickets of Service. Didn't go too far behind him. I don't think Williams could see where the ball was at second base, but the base runners stay put. 1 ball and no strikes here with 2 gone.
A nice job from Anderson actually over at first, not running up on Williams. You see a lot of base runners who are maybe not aware of what's going on with the runner in front of them and just take off.
Up the middle, off the glove of the second baseman Kammerer, who was playing behind second base. Now Williams is caught between 3rd and home, hustles back to 3rd, dives back in safely. Good throw from the catcher Service after Kammerer threw it home. Nearly ended the inning, but instead bases are loaded with 2 outs. So now that brings up the first baseman, Zach Hunt, and an RBI chance here for him with the bases loaded and 2 gone.
It was a really nice play from Kammerer just to get a glove on it, knock it down. 3rd hit of the day for Phillips.
That play by Kammerer saved a run. That's low for ball 1.
I think Service, once he got the ball at the plate, was a little bit, probably wasn't expecting Williams to just turn and burn all the way back to 3rd.
That is called a single for Daniels, too. So now 3 for 4 for him as the 1-0 comes in. Good block, low and inside pitch there. So now 2-0. And the shortstop, Mason Onati, will jog to the mound, as does the rest of the infield, and Oliver Service, their catcher.
And just to settle up right down, got through the first 2 hitters pretty painlessly. Then a 2-out walk. Williams over at first, drew his attention. Probably in part caused the hit by pitch of Anderson, and Phillips obviously got good barrel to one up the middle.
So a hitter's count, 2-0 now. Williams at third, Anderson at second, Daniels at first. The 2-0 inside and low, 3 balls and no strikes. Nowhere to put Hunt here.
Yeah, no doubt he's taken all the way, 3 pitches. Haven't threatened the zone at all. I think there's a pretty good chance he may take 2 in a row.
The 3-0 is a strike. Hunt thought it was ball 4. On the outside corner, Russell Triplett yells at Gary Smetana from the top step. Looked like Service was set up a little inside and had to reach back out across the plate, so not a great presentation. 3-1 is swung on, tapped foul at the plate.
Yeah, that's a frustrating call. Ball off the plate with a lefty. It probably ran off the plate as well. That's a frustrating one. If, as a hitter, you work hard to get the 3-0 and you take ball 4 and feel like it's just a give me strike. Bails him out.
The 3-2 with 2 outs. Runners go, and it hit him. Breaking ball missed, and that ties the game up at 6. So Williams scores. Everybody else advances 90 feet. 2 RBIs for Hunt this afternoon.
Tried to go back to the breaking ball and pulled it nowhere close. Almost went behind Hunt.
Yeah, Marshall probably glad it hit Hunt, because that could have scored 2 had it missed him and gone to the backstop. Considering how aggressive the Citadel normally is on the base paths and the fact they were running on a 3-2 with 2 outs. So now Stratus looks at a first pitch fastball for a strike on the inner half.
It's an opportunity for the Citadel. Marshall got the big swing on the Batone 3-run homer. Can you get a big swing here and try to put a crooked number up?
Christian Stratus looked at another strike on a fastball on the inside corner. So now it's 0-2. 2 outs, 6-6 game. Anderson, Daniels, and Hunt are your base runners from third to first around the horn. Oh, 2 is low on a breaking ball. 1 ball and 2 strikes. It's a right-hander for Marshall, still casually getting loose in their bullpen. Not necessarily serious throwing from the rubber yet. Now the 1-2. High chopper over to third, fielded on 1 hop by Simpson. He steps on the bag for the force, and that ends the inning. But an RBI hit by pitch from Zach Hunt with the bases loaded ties the game at 6. And that takes us to the 7th here at the Joe. Top of the 7th inning in a 6-6 game. The Citadel brings in a new pitcher. It's the junior right-hander Ben Brash. 6'4", 215 from Aiken, South Carolina. Started in the finale against Liberty on Sunday. It's his only appearance so far of the year.
Yeah, and I think he was available last weekend, 2 weeks in a row. It's been a TBA for the Sunday starter.
Slider in there for a strike.
Just helps you, not limit yourself. If they feel like they need to use him out of the pen Friday or Saturday, they can. Just went one time through the order last week.
Yeah, final totals: an inning and 2/3, 2 hits, 2 earned runs, 2 walks, and 2 strikeouts in that game. The 1-1 fouled off to the right. 1 ball and 2 strikes as Ethan Murdoch leads off the top of the 7th inning. Tied up at 6. Compelling game here at the Joe. The pitch. Breaking ball. Murdoch lunged at it and hits it out toward right center field. Lively gave chase and tracked it down for the first out.
Good start there from Brash. Went to his bread and butter. Breaking ball. Down and away. Off the end of the bat there from Murdoch. Gets a lazy fly ball out to center. Get the leadoff hitter out.
So that brings up Mason Onadi, the shortstop, with the bases empty and 1 out. Citadel defense playing straight up here. First pitch swinging, driven to center field. Lively moves to his left and makes the catch. And quickly 2 retired here in the top of the 7th.
Good piece of hitting there. 99 off the bat, but right to Lively.
So now Oliver Service with 2 outs and the bases empty.
If you're the Citadel, this is a good opportunity to have a nice quick inning. You're able to tie the game up. Try to seize momentum.
Slider away for ball 1. 3 innings of relief for Jacob Deacon. 3 hits, 1 earned run, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts. That's past the lunging Brash to his left. And that'll be an infield hit with 2 outs. The Citadel defense was playing in a shift, and Patel just couldn't get to it. He was basically playing directly behind second base. So a well-placed ball for Oliver Service, and that keeps the inning alive. But going back to Deacon, really settled in after throwing 11 straight balls to begin his outing.
And sometimes for pitchers, that's all it takes is that getting that first out. Just helps you relax your mind. And for some reason, just start to attack more. And once he got on the attack, he was much better. And like I said, it was a little rough early. Put the first 2 guys on through 3 straight, and that's where his one run ended up coming in.
Ball in the dirt on the first pitch. So now 1-0 the count to Simpson. And there's a strike called on the outside corner. Even up here 1-1. Tied up at 6, top of the 7th. 2 outs, 11 hits for Marshall, 1 error. 9 hits for the Citadel, no errors. Brash set just above the belt. Backdoor slider taken for strike 2.
You've got to be able to put away Simpson here, either with a strikeout or get weak contact. You don't want to turn the lineup over to Baton with 2 out. You want to face him leading off the next inning.
Brash set the pitch outside. Fastball missed. 2-2 to the left-hand hitting Simpson. Hit an RBI single in the first, singled and scored in the second inning. He had his first hit, then his second hit came in the 4th. He struck out 2 innings ago his last time. Now the 2-2. High fly ball left field. Anderson goes back into his right and makes the catch, and that ends the inning. A harmless 2-out hit for Service. Nothing more than that as we stretch here at the Joe in a tie ball game. Bottom of the 7th inning here, tied up at 6. At Joe Riley Park, overcast skies. Garrett Fulmer leads it off. The wind started to pick up, blowing in from right center. Now a little more left, rather, right to left. It basically shifted direction as I was trying to tell you where it was coming from. So Fulmer, Tobin, and Lively, 6, 7, 8 here for the Citadel.
You talk about the wind. That may be a challenge. It may become a factor over the final 2.5 innings here for the outfielders because it's starting to blow pretty hard as the weather's starting to roll in.
Yep.
It's shifting, out to left, out to right.
Called strike to Fulmer. Fulmer singled in the first, struck out in the third, and hit an RBI triple 2 innings ago. That made it a 1-run game at the time. Albright from the wind, still in the game. The 1-1 is swung on, hit on the ground at the shortstop, Onati, who moves to his left to field and throws Fulmer out at first. So now 1 gone here in the bottom of the 7th.
Yeah, fastball there. Fulmer got a good swing on it. He's had a nice day at the plate. 107 off the bat, just right to the shortstop. Well, that's good to see if you're the Citadel. 2-hit day for Fulmer. Another good barrel there. You can get him going offensively. He can really help lengthen this lineup.
And now time is called. Are they going to call that a ball or a warning on the eye contact there on the pitcher, Albright? I guess just a warning. Some of the new intricacies with the pitch clock rule. You have to lock eyes with 8 on the clock. There's a called strike. Lane Tobin up for the 4th time. A double sandwiches 2 groundouts for him today. Tobin shows bunt. Kept the bat out there. Now 0-2. Taylor Ash and I were talking about it last night. It was interesting when Aryan Patel hits. We didn't notice it until middle innings of last night's game when he turns his head back to the backstop and looks at the pitch clock back there and then turns to bring his attention to the pitcher at 9.
Yeah, I was getting ready to mention that. I've seen a number of the guys for the Citadel do it, and they did it a lot in scrimmages too. So I think it's something that they put some emphasis on, from the coaching staff, just to try to slow momentum down. We saw Coulter early working really fast, and the Marshall hitters were just right back in the box looking right at him. You obviously, with the way they're trying to speed the game up, you don't have the freedom to just call timeouts and hang out around the plate.
2-2 swung on and missed. High fastball there for the 2nd out. A little game within the game, though.
Yeah,
but as an announcer, I appreciate what the Marshall hitters are doing. Keeps the game moving.
That's right. And the Citadel pitchers do it as well. We mentioned Deacon, especially he held for a long time on some pitches from the stretch. One that also freezes the runner at first, but also the hitter at the plate, and he was eyes on the pitch clock most of that time. Just wait until there was 1 or 2 to get going.
That, by the way, was the first strikeout for Albright. As Matthew Lively digs in, Albright stepped off, now walks back in and fires the first pitch. And that's hit foul off to the right. Lively a walk, strikeout, and ground out so far. Albright from the wind comes home with the 0-1. Strike 2 called on the outside corner on a fastball. Lefty-righty matchup here. The aforementioned Patel is on deck. If Lively can find a way to continue the inning, he'll come up. That missed a little bit low. 1 ball and 2 strikes on another fastball.
The last inning, Albright relied heavily on the breaking ball, relying much more on the sinker.
In the dirt, skipped in on a breaking ball. So now the count 2-2 on Matthew Lively.
He was able to get Lane the strikeout swing on a fastball up, running way off the plate. After that breaking ball, he may have Lively set up for the same.
That misses now, full count. Just off the inside corner.
Yeah, went back to the fastball, was trying to get it away, but pulled it in.
Albright from the line, 3-2, 2 outs, base is empty, and the pitch is hit in the air, foul out of play down the right side. Marshall defense relatively aligned. Onati shaded a little bit toward the hole. Camera playing closer to second base. 3-2 misses for ball 4. And a 2-out base runner. So Lively is on, and that brings up Patel.
And this is where Albright found himself in trouble last inning and got the first 2 guys out easily in Lively and Patel. Flipped the lineup over. Williams worked a 2-out walk, in a similar at bat. Then he hit Anderson, Phillips singled, and then he hit Hunt to walk in the run. And you have another good base runner over at first, similar to the last inning when Williams was over there.
Second walk given up by Albright. Patel shows bunt, takes it back, and it's ball 1 inside. Outfielders playing straight up. First baseman Havrilla holds Lively on.
Yeah, I don't think Patel had any intention of actually bunting, was just trying to pull the third baseman in.
Pickoff attempt over at first.
It looks like Simpson's still going to play 3 or 4 steps behind the back at third.
Last time Patel was up, Simpson was playing at the cut of the infield grass. Here's the 1-0. Taken for a strike on the outer half with a fastball. So an even 1-1 count. Lively at first. 2 outs, tied up at 6 here in the bottom of the 7th. As Albright comes set above the belt, checks first, fires home. Little tapper out in front of the plate, going to go foul up the third base line. So now the count 1-2 on the Citadel second baseman. He's batting 9th here this afternoon. Marshall does have a right-hander getting loose. Tough to see the third base side bullpen with the net, but it appears it's number 19 there for the Herd, which is Tim Baird. 1-2, runner takes off, pitches a ball high, throw to second is not in time. So a stolen base for Lively. He's in scoring position with 2 outs.
Yeah, good time to run. No chance there for service. He really made a nice play, really a strong throw down the second. But with the lefty on the mound, Lively already had a bigger lead. Was going on first movement. And Albright with the bigger leg kick.
Yeah, he's pretty
really
slow to the plate. Long look at second. And the 2-2, Patel fouls it away. So a ball hit into the outfield that drops in would in all likelihood give the Citadel the lead. Lively can run well as Albright comes set. He takes off for third. Line drive, base hit right field. Played on a hop by Halter. Lively will score. The throw trickles in way late. The Citadel takes a 7-6 lead. Arian Patel delivers. The Bulldogs recapture the lead.
Nice piece of 2-strike hitting there from Patel. Fastball, middle, down, keeps his hands inside. Again, just sticking to his 2-strike approach of just staying the other way, lines it in the right field. Lively was off on the pitch, so he scored standing easily. Again, the 2-out walk comes back to get Albright.
Third RBI for Patel of the year. He takes off. Throw over to first from Albright. Goes into the Citadel bullpen. He sailed it, and Patel on his way to third. They're going to wave him home. Throw to the plate is off target. Patel scored from first. He took off. Bad throw to first from Albright on the pickoff. and he hustled around the base pass. They manufacture a run, and the 2-run lead for the Bulldogs is back.
Going on first move right in the face of Albright. He saw it. That's the one benefit of the big leg kick as a lefty, but the ball was nowhere close to the first baseman and
Yeah, completely airmailed.
took the right fielder a little while to get there. Patel never really stopped heading to third, and Halter picked that ball up with no intentions of throwing it home, and his throw was pretty far off line at the plate.
Yeah, service between the plate and the backstop. Trying to corral that throw in from right field. First pitch ball taken by Williams. Now he looks at a strike, and it's even up 1-1. So they call that a stolen base for Patel, then a 2-base error on a throw by the pitcher. The 2-1 is just off the inside corner. 3-1. Well, the play-by-play sheet has Patel still second, advanced to third on a throwing error. They need to change that to a 2-base error. Here's the 3-1. Taken for strike 2. Full count here, 2 outs. Bases empty, 2 runs in here in the home 7th. And Williams draws a walk. Interesting here, the last 2 innings since Albright's been in the game, he's gotten the first 2 outs rather quickly, but the Citadel able to make him pay after getting those 2 outs.
Yeah, he's done a nice job really attacking the strike zone to start both innings, and then sometimes mentally you get the 2 outs and you just struggle to get off the field, try to do too much, and then it just snowballed on him after he would walk the first guy, fall behind, and have to throw fastballs, center cut. And credit to Patel, he put a really nice swing on it.
So that's going to be all for Albright. Greg Beals walks to the mound and signals for the right-hander from the bullpen. Tim Baird will now enter the game for the Herd, and we'll tell you more about him in just a moment. Third pitcher of the game enters for Marshall. It's the right-hander Tim Baird. from North Royalton, Ohio. Grad student, 6'2", 200 pounds. Second appearance on the year for him.
Gonna be a little bit different look here for Marshall, for the Citadel hitters. It'll be a good mid to upper 90s fastball with a harder slider.
Fastball high on the first pitch to the left-hand hitting TJ Anderson. 1 ball and no strikes. He pitched on Saturday the 14th at Kennesaw State, threw an inning and 2/3 in that game. No hits, no runs, 2 walks, and 4 strikeouts. That was a game that Kennesaw State won 10-9. Runner takes off. The pitch is a ball, throw to second on 1 hop is not in time, so Williams in scoring position on another stolen base. That's the 3rd of the game for him.
This is a little bit more of your typical modern-day baseball reliever. High velocity fastball, good breaking ball, but you know the walks can be an issue, but he's going to punch guys out.
Ball off the outside corner. Didn't miss by much. Baird is very closed off too when he comes set. Kind of turns his front shoulder away from the batter as this is popped up to the left side of the infield. And Simpson really struggling. He dropped the ball. Lands between third base and the mound. Williams will score. Anderson hustles to second. Man, the wind is becoming a factor. It's blowing left to right and just got away from Cleary Simpson.
Yeah, I mentioned it at the start of the inning that it's whipping around pretty good. That ball got really, really high on the infield. It's probably going to go down as a double because Simpson never touched the ball.
He was never set under the ball. He was still drifting as it landed.
Yeah, it probably landed a good 3-4 feet away from him. Anderson never stopped.
But if I were the official score, I would definitely rule that a double. Because part of the criteria is for it to be an error, the defender has to be sort of set under the ball. Check swing roller between the mound and the first base line from Phillips Daniels, fielded by the pitcher Baird. He underhands to first in time, and that sends us to the 8th inning, but a 3-run bottom of the 7th for the Citadel. 9-6, they reclaim the lead. 15 combined runs. We head to the 8th here in Charleston. Top of the 8th inning here, 15 combined runs, 21 combined hits. Marshall 3 errors. The Citadel back in front. As the top of the order is due up here for the Herd, Evan Batone. The left-handed batter will lead it off with Brash still on the hill for the Bulldogs, and the first pitch misses inside on an off speed.
Marshall back behind, trailing for the first time since their 4-run 4th inning. Just 6 outs to play with. You know, it's not 100%, but you got to feel like this is going to be your opportunity here with the top of your order up. You feel like you got to at least get one to cut into it and try to gain some momentum.
Here's the 2-0. And that misses a little bit inside on a breaking ball. 3 balls and no strikes. Citadel defense playing straight up. Batone up for the 5th time, and he works a 4-pitch walk. Second time he's walked in the game. Also an RBI single and 3-run home run. Only negative on his stat line is a strikeout his last time up in the 5th. First walk allowed by Brash. Came in to start the top of the 7th. First pitch is ball 1 to Havrilla. Got the first 2 out. Oliver Service had a 2-out single, but nothing more in the Marshall frame. Last inning. Throw over to first. Batone dives back in safely. No tag attempt from Hunt.
Citadel shifting in pretty hard. Patel.
He's on the left side of second base, yeah.
He's about 4 steps over there. Hunt holding the runner on. He could dribble one over to the right side, and Batone could probably easily go first to third. It also makes a double play just a little bit tougher. Something that might be hit towards Tobin. Might be a tougher turn for Patel to try to get there. Just at the angle he'd have to be getting to the bag.
Now a timeout call by the Citadel. The entire infield converges on the mound, and a 2-0 count to A.J. Havrilla, their first baseman. 2 flyouts and 2 walks for Havrilla here this afternoon.
Yeah, I know he'd like to come through a tough day yesterday with 3 strikeouts. Yeah, and just try to keep the momentum going here in the inning. I like the mound visit there, 6 straight. 2 guys throwing in the Citadel bullpen. Maybe just a little bit, trying to get them a little bit of time.
Long set, and that's fisted over second base. Patel makes the catch on the run in shallow center. Throw back to first is not in time. Batone dives back in safely, but an over-the-shoulder grab by Patel, still playing in the shift. 1 out here in the top of the 8th.
It's a big out there. Probably some frustration, maybe from the Marshall coaching staff. You're down 3 runs, 6 straight balls to start the inning. That one was very borderline ball strike, and you swing, you're late, get jammed, and you need base runners at this situation. Even if he hits a 2-run homer there, you're still down by a run.
First pitch inside, ball 1 to Jackson Halter. Halter not having the weekend he's had in mind here so far. 0 for 3 with a walk today. Yesterday, 0 for 4 with a walk and an RBI. Coming off a 5 for 12 weekend in Kennesaw, including hitting for the cycle as that pitch missed high and outside, 2-0. That cycle came against Evansville when they won 18-11. The 3-0 is taken for a strike, 3-1.
I think Brash might have gotten a call there. Fastball maybe a touch up above the zone.
And a strike at the bottom of the zone. Halter looks up in dismay, saying, gonna call one high, gonna call one low. Can't catch a break here. Long set above the belt, the 3-2. Fouled straight back on the line.
Yeah, I think as a hitter, you're okay with giving up one side, up or down, but
yeah, if he's calling both, you're saying to yourself, geez. 3 balls and 2 strikes to count here with 1 out. Batone gets his lead at first. Hunt holds him on. Batone takes off. And a foul ball. Patel doing a fake double play. Trying to deke out the base runner there for Marshall. Brash comes set, first base side of the rubber. The 3-2 runner goes again, and it's strike 3 called on the outside corner. Halter dropped the bat. That's a frustrating at-bat there for the Marshall right fielder.
Yeah, that ball right on the corner. Good job by Former back behind the plate. Received that one well. Batone did swipe second, but Former kind of gave up the bag to make sure he could receive that one well.
Called strike on the first pitch toward the bottom of the zone to Tyler Kammerer. Retired his first 3 times up, but singled last time up in the 6th. As Brash comes set, and the 0-1 in on the hands, grounded to the right side. Patel fields and throws to first in time, and that takes us to the bottom of the 8th. No runs, no hits, no errors, and 1 left. Through 7.5, a 9-6 Citadel lead. Bottom of the 8th inning in a 9-6 game. Tim Baird is still on the mound for the Marshall Thundering Herd as Zach Hunt leads off this frame. Baird came in at the bottom of the 7th, threw just 4 pitches to get out of trouble. Hunt swings to the first pitch and drills this one toward the gap in left center and gone. He crushed that ball. A 10-6 lead now for the Bulldogs on the first home run of the season for Zach Hunt.
He's got a center cut cutter. Middle. He finally got one up in the air. He'd been rolling over everything today. A 4-3, a 6-3, and a 5-4-3. Got that one up in the air. Got every stitch of that one with the wind blowing out too. There was no doubt about it.
Christian Stratus looks at a first pitch ball a little bit inside. 394 feet. And there's a breaking ball taken for strike one to even it up here, 1-1.
I think after the 9th inning last night, the Citadel's going to take every insurance run that they can get.
Breaking ball taken for called strike two. Yeah, the Citadel in front by 4 most of the game last night. Marshall, the last 3 innings, made it interesting. As the 1-2 comes in, high and tight, 2-2. Ethan Murdoch hit a home run to make it a 4-2 game in the 8th inning, a 2-run shot. And then in the 9th, I mentioned it earlier, Marshall had the bases loaded with none out. In the top of the 9th, Michael Gibson able to close it out. The Herd got 1 run in that frame. And the tying run to third, go-ahead run to second. But Gibson hung on, earned the save after pitching the last 3 1/3. Count now full after a half swing in which Stratus didn't go. The payoff is a fastball that's popped up in foul ground between home and first, and the first baseman, Havrilla, comes in on it to make the catch for the first out.
Good fastball there at 96, right on the inner half, or I guess the inner corner of the plate. There's nothing that Stratus could do there. Just tried to fight it off, but stayed in play. Nice play from Havrilla, fighting the wind a little bit.
Now Garrett Fulmer up for the 5th time. 2 for 4 thus far with an RBI. Breaking ball taken for strike one. We can close the book on Albright, who came in second for Marshall. He had a base runner on, so that was his responsibility. That man wound up scoring. An inning and 2/3 in relief of Harlow. 3 earned runs, 2 hits, 2 walks, a strikeout, and a hit batter for the Marshall left-hander. The 0-2, fouled straight back.
Yeah, I think the conversation with Albright's going to be, what has to change with his mentality with 2 strikes, or with 2 outs. I mean, you see how easily he was able to get there with 2 outs, so it's obviously not a physical. It's nothing with the stuff, the ability. It's just, how does his mindset need to change?
The 0-2 pitch swung on, hit on the ground to the shortstop, Onade. Charges and throws to first in time for out number 2. And up comes Lane Tobin. Tobin 1 for 4. His only hit came in the 3rd. It was a 2-out double. And there for a strike on a fastball, 94, top of the zone. So the Citadel in front here, 10-6. Each team with 11 hits. 3 errors for Marshall, none for the Bulldogs. Tobin drops down the bunt, and it trickles foul up the third base line.
Looking ahead to the 9th, it'll be the middle of the order due up for Marshall. See if we get a new arm for the Citadel, or if Brash goes back out.
Equipment issue here for Oliver Service with his mask. He goes back to the dugout and gets a new mask. It'll be ahead of this no ball, 2 strike pitch here. 2 outs, bases empty, bottom of the 8th. In the dirt, 1-2. Marshall aligned straight up defensively. Strike 3 called. Fastball over the heart of the plate froze Tobin, and that takes us to the 9th. 3 more outs to get here for the Bulldogs, and they'll take the 2 games over Marshall. 10-6, the Citadel in front. Andrew Buffkin on the mound now for the Citadel here to start the top of the 9th inning. Buffkin is a right-hander, 5'11", 185 from Myrtle Beach, making his 2nd appearance of the year.
He had a really good outing last weekend. Covered the final 4 innings on Friday night, which proved that, it was really huge to save the bullpen. 4 scoreless, just 1 hit allowed, walked 1. He's not an overpowering guy.
First pitch taken there, ball 1 to Cooper Hinson leading off the top of the 9th. And there for a strike.
Buffin's going to use that sinker, right around 87, 88 at the bottom of the zone pretty heavily. Just really try to get guys to put the ball in play and put the ball on the ground.
Inside. They actually called that first pitch a strike. So now it's 1-2. So the first 2 were in there. Now the 0-2 missed inside. Buffkin working relatively quickly. Comes set, kicks and fires. The 1-2 is swung on and skied to shallow left field. Anderson charges in on it and makes the catch for the first out. And that brings up Ethan Murdoch. Mason Onati will follow him. Just a short 2-gamer between these 2 schools. Marshall goes up to Columbia. They'll play Navy tomorrow. And then on Monday, they travel to Rock Hill to play Winthrop. And that's ball 1. Didn't look like it was a bad pitch, maybe a little bit low, but
It looked like it was pretty. Yep, got plenty of the plate at the bottom of the zone.
outside, 2-0. Now, you're better with the South Carolina geography than me. Rock Hill is right across the border from Charlotte, right?
That's correct.
And Army will come to Charleston tomorrow. That's a 1 o'clock first pitch. Should have that one televised for you on ESPN+. The Black Knights coming off an upset of South Carolina yesterday. They won 9-5, I believe, right?
That is correct. Yeah, and
Much
most of those
to-
runs were late.
Yeah, much to Travis Lott's chagrin as a Gamecock fan. Count 3 balls and 1 strike here. Hinson up for the 5th time, and he fouls it off to the right side. Full count. Hinson overall 1 for 4. Only hit came back in the 3rd, which was a single. And Murdoch hits that one on 1 hop to Hunt. He calls off Buffkin, takes it himself to the bag, wins that race, and now Marshall is down to its final out.
It's another good pitch. It's actually surprising Buffkin's gone up above the zone for both outs in the inning. I don't know if that's part of the game plan or just where he's missing and it's working out for him. But just to look back at this, I think when Marshall looks back at this game, they're going to kick themselves over the 5th inning. Obviously, they've had a lot of base runners throughout the game, but they had 1st and 2nd with no outs. Couldn't get anything across, and I know they're down by 4 now, but what does that do to the momentum of the game?
Marshall left 10 on base yesterday. So far, 10 left on base today. And there's a called strike. Evens the count 1-1 to Onati, who's 1 for 3, a single and a walk. You mentioned the 5th inning. Marshall also left the bases loaded in the 2nd inning despite scoring 2. They could have definitely tacked on more than that. There's a called strike. Pitch over the inner half. So now Marshall down to its final strike here. Buffkin, first base side of the rubber, comes set. From the belt, the 1-2. That's high on an off-speed 2-2. Service on deck. He'll come up if Onati can continue the game. Buffkin set, 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Here's the pitch. Fouled off down the left field line, drifts out of play. Onati digs back in. Buffkin set here. The 2-2. In on the hands, fly to left. Anderson moves to his left and makes the catch. And the Citadel Bulldogs win both against the Marshall Thundering Herd. After the 4-3 final yesterday, some more offense today. The Citadel with a 10-6 win. 16 combined runs. And it was definitely, like you said, Travis, the 5th inning for Marshall, they're kicking themselves. I mean, again, 2 straight games of 10 left on base, and that's going to be the big difference here for Marshall and what Greg Beals, I think, will emphasize here the rest of this weekend.
Yeah, like you said, 10 guys left on base. The Citadel left their fair share on base too, but you look at the final line, 10-6, as far as runs go, but knotted up at 11 in the hit column. The biggest difference late in the game was the Marshall errors. They throw the pick away over at first that allowed a run to score. You look in the inning, in the 3-run 7th inning that the Citadel took the lead, it just took 1 hit. It was the 2-out single from Patel, but they were able to push 2 more across in the inning without the hit. And for the Citadel coming off of a series loss last weekend, obviously not a full 3-game set, but you sweep 2 with Marshall, and you're at least going to win 2 out of 3 on the weekend with Army coming into town, and an opportunity to get a 3-win weekend.
Final totals in this one for the Citadel: 10 runs, 11 hits, no errors. From Marshall, 6 runs, 11 hits, and 3 errors. Marshall left 10 on base, the Citadel 9. Army comes to Charleston tomorrow. That'll be a 1 o'clock first pitch. Travis and I will be on the broadcast for that one over on ESPN+. We'll hope you join us for that one. But again, 2 wins, like Travis said, this weekend for the Bulldogs. They improve to 3-2 on the season. Marshall now to a game under 500 at 2-3 as they now continue their tour across the state of South Carolina. For Travis Lott, I'm RJ Taylor. So long from Charleston. The Citadel 10-6 winners here on Saturday.